What's going on? What's going on? I appreciate you guys' patience. I'm sorry I had to jump off before my connection was horrible. So, in a different place, in a new place, trying to make sure that the Wi-Fi connection definitely works and as strong as possible. So, thank you for your grace. So, I'm going to be doing these on Saturdays, where it's conversations with me, but we're going to be talking about guitar, talking about you know, different things that you want to learn. I want to make sure that I'm connecting with you guys on a different level outside of me just playing. I mean, we can talk about me playing and like showing you stuff, but I want to just connect with you guys so you guys get a chance to know who I am. And what I was saying before, my desire is to get up to 100,000 subscribers. So I need your help. So if you haven't subscribed to this page, go ahead and do so, and then suggest your friends do the same. I believe in you guys, and I know that it can be all possible with you guys. So I definitely wanted to just hop on here and say that. What's good? What's good, everybody? Where's everybody from? Let me know where y'all from. Definitely want to know where you guys are from. One thing I wish you could have done when you were first learning guitar. What's one thing I wish you could have learned? Just got quarantined and discovered your channel. What's one thing I wish I would have done when I first learned how to play guitar? Take it more seriously. When I say that, it's just like, instead of just vibing because it felt good, understanding what I was doing so the way I could have had different kind of freedoms. Like if I knew I was playing a C chord, I wish I would have known I was playing a C chord, just vibe. It's doing the same thing, babe. It's all right, all right.
Do you have full Wi-Fi bars? You don't know.
Music is my language. That's what's up. Yeah, so I appreciate everybody's like, you know, I want to come to Japan. Definitely when this whole like quarantine thing kind of subsides or whatever, I would love to come to Japan. I would love to just teach in Japan and do something in Japan. So definitely want to make that happen. So yeah, let's take this time out on Saturdays to connect with you guys, to like answer questions.
I'll have to call them.
Any tips for practice routines? Yes. So what I would say is when you're getting ready to work on your practice routine, focus on areas that you're not that strong in. So if you're going to focus on scales, apply more time and attention to detail on scales, and then transition to the areas that you're not so strong in. And if you only have a limited amount of time, then what you need to do is you need to break it up so it makes sense whenever you're getting ready to go and start to do those things. That's what I would suggest to do when it comes to your practice time. It's a great question. Man, we got so many dope people in the house from all over the world. I love to hear that. Like I was saying before, I want to apologize about my connection. I'm in a new place, so sometimes the stuff goes in and out. So it's frustrating with that. No, I'm not on Patreon, but if you want to get more in depth in what I'm doing, go to my website, kerryscamp.com. If you're 18 years or younger, ask your parents before you go. But if you're 18 years or older, you can definitely go to my website. It's KERRYSKAMP.com. If you want me to be your mentor and show you how to play guitar on a different level and really unlock your full potential, that's what I'm here about. You know what I'm saying? Are solid state amps good? Yes, if you get the right one. I'm a huge fan of Quilter. Quilter is a dope sound in this solid state, and it's super light and it allows me to play the way that I want. It sounds to me just like a tube amp. It gives a lot of versatility. Most of the YouTube videos that you hear are me playing the Quilter amp, so it's a great amp. Definitely. R&B chords to get started with, I would learn a minor 7 and a major 7. Those are some great chords to get started with. Learn those patterns because those are going to facilitate most of your R&B stuff. You know what I mean? Just how you package them and put them together. But those are some great chords to start learning how to play. What's good? Do you think about the scales when you're playing over a specific chord, or do you just think about the overall key of the song? All right, so so they work hand in hand. So there's different progressions. So what I do, I got to learn the key. I got to know what key I'm in, but then I got to follow the progression. So I'm not thinking about the notes that are in the scale. I'm thinking about the notes that are in the progression, but I got to know what key that I'm in. So they work hand in hand. Once I know what key I'm in, then I'm following the progression. Do I think about the corresponding scale? Yes. So initially, when I had to find out what key I'm in, I had to think about the corresponding scale. Now, when I get ready to solo, then I think about the scale that I'm in because it allows me to use the same format and formula that I always use when I'm playing. Which R&B/neo soul guitarist are you a fan of? Number one, I'm a fan of myself. Then I think about, you have guys like Chris Payton, Isaiah Sharkey, Tim Stewart, Eric Walls. There's so many dope guitarists. Mateus Asado, Mark Lettieri. I met this kid on named Xavier. I think he's from like Wisconsin. He's super dope, man. There's so many dope cats out there that can play, man. So I'm a fan of all those guys. I saw the Keeley Ari on your pedal board. Yes, it's on my pedal board. Example, I'm in F major 7, and my song mainly is G minor and A minor chords. When going to the pentatonic solo, I should always end my phrasing on the F note. Let me go look at my guitar. So if you're in F major, you said? Let me go back and read that. You're in F major. So you should start soloing it's a D minor pentatonic scale. So if you're doing the D minor pentatonic scale, then that's what you should use whenever you start to solo. All right, you usually leave the compression on? No, I don't leave the compression on when I'm playing. I used to back in the day. That was something that was really important to me, but like I realized that sometimes it can bleed over because it sustains a little bit longer, and it doesn't really give the full sound and crispness of my chords when I play, so I don't play with compression on. Now, maybe when I'm soloing, I might throw it on just to kind of kick it up a little bit, but not when I'm playing clean chords. I'm watching from South Korea. Oh, man, love. I definitely want to go to South Korea one day, so I appreciate it. I bought your lessons 1 and 2 a year ago. They've been helping me, says, helpfully define my original sound. Thank you so much. That's what it's all about. What's your dream guitar? That's a good question. I think I have all of my dream guitars, but if I had to have a dream guitar, it would be my own signature model. I don't know what company I would be with, but it needs to be a company that when I play, when I sound like the way that I wanted to sound, feel the way that I wanted to feel, and then be at a price point for other people to get it. That's where I'm at as far as my dream guitar. For soloing, how do you incorporate dramatic bends and making melodies with it? I'm getting the hang of making melodies, but not knowing where to bend. So bends come in it's like an attitude, right? So when you get to certain notes, you have to practice just knowing like when you should bend and when you shouldn't bend. It's one of those where you gotta kind of practice and then just feel it. So let me see if I can give y'all guys a quick example. Stay put, don't move. Stay put, don't move. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna get my guitar to kind of give you an example. All right, so like if I'm going to be playing, right, and I'm gonna be soloing, like if I'm thinking about bends, so like instead of me just playing, I'm not doing that every single time. I start out like with a nice subtle, like the vibrato. Like the dynamics, like I'm bending it all the way up, but I'm falling down on that note. I'm the one that's dictating how much I want to bend, but I don't start out so aggressive that I bend so much to the top. Or if I do that, then I'm going to fall down. But it's one of those things that you got to practice facilitating how you want to bend. If you don't practice it and you try to get to a live situation and you actually do it, like it may land and it may not land. So because you don't know how much tension to put on the string or how much tension to not put on the strings. So I would suggest like you practice doing that before so you get to know exactly what it feels like. So you're not guessing you're taking the guesswork out of it. So that's what I would suggest doing. So a few more things. All right, which has been your favorite artist to play for so far? It depends, right? So if I'm thinking about like the show aspect, like all the stuff that's going on, I would say Derulo. Derulo has probably been the favorite because you got people flipping, you got pyro, you got like all types of stuff going on. Musically wise, like just to play my instrument in my guitar, it's probably been Keanu Lede and Lettucey. Those have probably been the most two favorite because I get to play my instrument, really play. Pop is just like, you're playing, but it's just like everything is kind of canned a little bit. R&B is still canned, but like you get a little bit more flexibility in when you're playing. Let's see, let's go through. How does that relate? F major key, the relative minor is the D minor pentatonic. Yes, so if you go through the scale, if you're in F major, I want to keep this on the whole entire time. So we're in F major, right? So if you look at the scale, it's F major scale. I'm sorry, I got you guys like in my window. So if you're not getting a good sight of me, I'm trying to like stand right here, but I'm literally in my window. So I'm trying to make sure you guys can see. And I have it standing up vertical versus horizontal. Because when I took the picture, whenever way you take the picture, like the phone locks and it doesn't allow you to switch. So forgive me if you can't really see what I'm saying or what I'm trying to show you. So when I think about the scale, right? In my sixth position, because I've been doing this for a long time, it's right here. So like my pivot point, I'll be doing like a lot of minor pentatonic. So I'm definitely, when it comes to the F major, my chord progression is F major, D minor is going to be my minor. My minor pentatonic is my relative 6. All right, cool. Let me see. Oh man, thanks, man, for the congratulations, man. I appreciate that. Do you have any tips to start playing by ear? My first tip, I would say, like, really be sensitive when you're listening to the song to understand what key it's in. Like, really take the time and attention to detail to listen to the song and be like, okay, cool. I'm hearing this. I'm hearing that. Let me play what's in there. That's the best way to start when you start playing by ear. So I do good when I practice, but on stage, I always make mistakes. It's probably because you're overthinking. So when you're on stage and you do good in practice, the thing is you want to create the same kind of environment. So you practice the way that you're going to play. And that would mean, like, you know, sometimes I sit down and practice and I'm like, okay, I'm going to stand up on the show. So I got to stand up. I got to get in my stance. I got to get to the point where I'm rocking. So that way I'm playing the same way that I'm gonna play on stage. So the way it feels the same. I don't get there on stage and like, oh man, I gotta stand up now. I wasn't, the whole time I was practicing, I was sitting down and I gotta rock. So if I wasn't doing that in practice, it's gonna be hard for me sometimes mentally to be like, okay, do I rock to the left, right, or rock to the right? What am I doing? When I take my solo, am I standing still? Am I walking? Am I swaying? What am I doing? So you wanna try to create the same environment that you practice in that you're gonna do when you play on stage so you won't make mistakes. Love from Canada, that's what's up. John, what part of Canada are you from? My wife's Canadian, so she just asked, so you know. Do you play different tunings? No, I play standard tuning. I don't do the different kind of changes. The only time I've ever done any kind of changing for my tuning is when I was doing a session and I went to drop D in order to do this record. But I'm always standard tuning. Great tips. to practice the way you play. Yeah, you gotta practice the way you play. Like, I'm telling you, for a long time, I used to sit down and practice and like, man, I get it. Then I get on the stage, I'm like, man, I'm fumbling over certain notes because I'm not used to like standing. I wasn't used to like rocking. I wasn't used to whatever. So I said, I gotta start creating the same kind of environment. I'm gonna be on stage and I'm rocking out. I gotta be on practice, like rocking out. So when we get to on stage, it's second nature for me. So you're gonna play the way that you practice. If you don't practice it, you're not gonna, you're probably gonna miss. You're probably gonna be like, dang, man, I should have just done this. So you gotta practice the same way that you intend to play. Has social media been useful tool in getting gigs? I would say yes and no. So I've got a lot of calls in a lot of situations when I was doing social media. It definitely helped me with my networking. But the only way for you to really get gigs is like you got to build those relationships when it comes to the musical directors, it comes to the artists, it comes to management. You got to build that. So like it kind of started the conversation for me, but it didn't land me a gig. I had to physically open my mouth or be like, or show a video of me like when they were asking like, well, can you do this cover? Can you sing it for me real quick? You got to develop that rapport with the management, with the artist or the MD. So social media will just open up the door, but you got to seal the deal. That's a great question. Hey, Kerry, what makes a flat note? Sure. All right, so I don't know the science behind this, so I'm just gonna tell you like a flat note. So like let's say if you're playing an F, right? Or you're playing an A, let's do A. A half step up is going to be a flat. It's be A flat. You go to G or F, a half step up is going to be F sharp. I don't know how they came up with the science of it. I went to school for criminal justice. I didn't go to school for music. I've learned over the years how to put together, but I don't know what makes it flat or makes it sharp. So forgive me if I didn't explain that in such a way, but I'm just saying that's how the rules are. That's just what it is when it comes to music. Is standing rep recommended for both personal and full band practice? Heck yeah! If you gotta listen. When you're first initially learning, you can have a chair, you can sit down. But when you get ready to start practicing as if you're gonna play it, I suggest standing. What are you doing on stage? Are you sitting on stage? Are you sitting down on stage? If you're sitting down on stage, go for it. But if you're gonna be standing on stage and you gotta move, and you gotta do whatever, I suggest standing. Practice standing up. Practice getting what it feels like. If you got a pedal board, like practice like, okay, I gotta step on this pedal, knowing what that feels like, having to navigate. Or if you gotta do choreo, if you gotta, they want you to dance, they want you to move when you're playing or whatever, they want you to jump. You gotta get used to what that feels like. If you're not practicing that same way, you're gonna fail. I'm telling you, it's gonna happen. It happens. It happens to the greatest. If you don't practice the way that you're gonna play, you're gonna miss when it comes to that time. What pick are you using? I'm using a metal pick. So whenever I play acoustic guitar, I always use a metal pick. To me, it just feels like it rings out a lot better. Any tips on transcribing vocal lines to triads? I've never tried to do that per se. What I normally will do if I'm going to try to build a vocal line and to try, especially if I'm transcribing it, I will try to, on the B string, I'll try to take and I'll try to figure out. So let's just say. Yeah. Oh! I am super, super sorry. Listen, I'm trying to figure out this Wi-Fi situation, so I appreciate your grace in this period of time because it's just like, it'll just go out randomly and I'm like, man, I'm literally almost standing on top of my Wi-Fi. I don't know what's going on. So please just work with me while I'm working through these kinks. It may be like this for a little bit. I'm just working through these kinks. Your videos have been helpful and restored my connection with the guitar. Oh, that's what's up. Congrats on the move, by the way. I appreciate it. Listen. It's been in the works for a couple of years, so I'm just grateful that everything is panning out. So, all right, what do you think about the matchless versus the mega book? I've never played a matchless. I played Mesa Boogie. I played the rectifier and I played the long star. So like, for me, I'm a massive fan. I have not played the matchless in order to like, I take it back, I played the matchless one time in the studio and it kind of gave me like a Bad Cat vibe. So I like I like matchless then. I take it back, I played it for a studio session. So yeah, but it's all personal preference. Like when it comes to amps and it comes to guitars, it comes to all that kind of stuff, it's all personal preference. You have to figure out what sounds best to you. You know, something that may sound good in my hand may not necessarily feel good or sound good in your hand. So you just gotta, you know, see what's up. What kind of amp would you recommend? Brand as well as tube solid state. So if it's a solid state, I say go Quilter. If it's a tube amp right now, I'm a huge fan of Bad Cat. Like I play the Lynx. That's the amp that I normally use when I'm on stage, I'm on tour. So I love the way that that amp sounds. Now, if I can't get a Bad Cat, then I go to Mesa Boogie. If I can't get a good Mesa Boogie and they're not really sure, then I'll go to a Fender DeVille. That's what I normally will use, of course, my backline. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Try changing your Wi-Fi channel. It could be interference. We'll definitely do that once it is over. All right. What are some tips to improve strumming and rhythm? So every time that you want to practice your strumming rhythm, I say, you set a metronome, but then I don't play a chord initially first. I just practice like doing the strum. So like down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down. Then I might add a little ghost note where I like do an upstroke, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. Now I might incorporate the chords after I get that rhythm of what it feels like with the down, down, up. So. So I'll practice that rhythm before I even play a chord. So look. So that way you get used to what it feels like before you actually start strumming a chord. That's what I would do if I'm working on my strumming pattern. It happens over YouTube every day. Man, I appreciate that, What R&B bar chords? Oh, I see you. Pinky hammer on the E and the B string and the G string. So no, when I'm doing my bar chords, I'm always hammering on the B and E string. I never go to the G string. I'm not one of those guys that feels like it's necessary when you're giving a certain space with music. So. Yeah, when I'm playing on the 6th string, my bar chord, then I will definitely on the string. I see that minor 11 in there. Yep. So I like to go minor 11s because it's like a softer tone sometimes versus just a minor 7. Because after a while, it can get redundant. It's just a good way to kind of switch it up a little bit. So it's just great to kind of bounce in between both of those real quick. Thank you, love that progression. Sweet. I'm using the Boss ME80 as my effects pedal. Would you recommend moving to a Line 6 Helix? I have both, right? So I would tell you, depending on financially what your budget is. Now, if you have the budget to go there, then I would definitely say like use the Helix Line 6 is way more versatile in the sense of you can do a lot more pedalboard configurations than you can with the Boss ME80. Now, when I'm normally doing most of my like sessions on YouTube that you guys hear, I'm normally using my Boss ME80. And I do a lot of my studio sessions with the Boss ME80 because it's something I can pick up really quickly, throw in a book bag. Most producers are not asking me to do a whole lot of stuff that I cannot do. Now, if I want to have a more comfortable range and just feel like I can just go into all types of sounds and all types of weirdness, Like when I'm playing, like I can give you everything, then I would probably take the Helix Line 6. Now, for going on tour, I took the Helix Line 6 for the last tour that I did with Keanu Lede, and it was phenomenal. It was perfect because it was light. I could take it in a book bag. I didn't have to worry about the weight or worry about, you know, TSA destroying it when it got to the airport because it was all in one. I'm not a huge fan of the Kemper profiler. Like, I'm just, because I haven't used it that much. So I don't really I can't recommend it because I don't have enough knowledge to be like, oh, it's great, it's great. I've heard other cats use it and it sounds great, sounds phenomenal. There's sometimes I'm like, oh man, I should definitely get it. But the price point, I was not willing to pay that much money for it. Just really wasn't something I was like, oh, I gotta get it because it's gonna make my sound that much more. I felt like my sound matched just what they were doing and I didn't have the Kemper profiler. Can you explain how to play a minor pentatonic in the major, please? The minor pentatonic in the major? I don't know what you're asking me. How you say inspired to write songs and not sound like others? So when you're trying to write a song and try not to sound like the others, I would work on my voicings, right? I would work on how I phrase like my different kind of chord progressions. So let's just say I'm doing a song in the key of C, right? I may change my chord progression of how I'm doing the song. So I might go. So that's my first song that I came up with. I just kind of put some vibe together, right? So let's just say that now I got to go do another song in B flat. So I might I'm changing the key, but I want to change the progression around so it doesn't sound the same. So I changed up the strumming and the rhythm and I changed up the chords. So the way I'm able to kind of give a versatility of what I'm trying to do. So when you're starting to decide to do songwriting and come up with different kind of vibes, that's what you have to do. That's how you got to create it. That's how you got to make it feel and sound different by doing stuff like that. Any tips on how to effectively learn and implement new chords? Just try to place it. And so if you learn a new chord, try to place it in the song that you already know that chord is in that song. That's the best way to try to do it. All right, you uploaded some sweet tracks in your process of recording on Facebook the other day. What happened to that? That might have just been just for that one time, maybe a one and done. Like, so sometimes when I'm posting videos that I'm working on, I don't always leave them up, especially if I'm working for a track for a client. I mean, just give an idea and a concept of what it is, and then like I'll take it down. So it just shows you the process. It doesn't show you like, you can't hear the finished product because I'm giving that work to a client. I'm gonna take a few more and then I'm gonna let y'all go enjoy the rest of your Saturday. I'm trying to read all these. My R&B is 100% better because of you. Oh, definitely, I appreciate that. Do you have any issues when you're doing a dominant 11 chord? No, I don't have any issues. Don't have any issues. Is the minor pentatonic the best one to use? I can't use absolutes like best and never or whatever. It's just a fail safe if you run out of stuff to do. Like a lot of times when you're playing solos or when I'm playing solos, I'm playing the melody. So if a singer gives me a melody of what they're doing, what they're thinking in a song, then I'm gonna play that melody. I'm not just gonna like be minor pentatonic when they're giving me the melody. I can hear the melody. Matter of fact, Kat, can you connect to the beats? What song do you have on your iPhone? Just give me something like an R&B vibe. It doesn't matter what it is. All right, so I'm gonna show you guys an example. Huh? Like what artists do you have on your iTunes? I'm gonna pick a vibe and then I'm gonna show you how I do it. So I don't focus on the minor pentatonic. I'm hearing the melody and I want to play the melody. Now, if I run out of ideas, then I would definitely dig into minor pentatonic just to give myself some ideas of stuff to play. It doesn't matter.
Let's just do this.
So I'm pulling up the song and I'm gonna show you guys what I hear, okay? Hendrix. Chill. All right, so this is Kiana's like song called X, right? So I know it's in the key of C. All right, you cut it up. So I'm hearing the melody. I'm hearing that I can go major scale. So I'm doing stuff in the major scale. And then every now and then, if I wanted to, I can go interject and do some minor pentatonic. So minor pentatonics is when I run out of ideas to do, but I want to try to play the melody of what they're doing. I'm not finding myself by just doing, because that's just too bluesy. If I go to the minor pentatonic, I'm picking out certain notes that are gonna allow me to like accentuate the song that I'm doing, right? So I'm doing some stuff from the minor pentatonic, but I'm also massaging with some of the stuff from the major to make the melodies. I'm not just focusing on just doing the bluesy. I'm not doing that, but if I run out of some ideas, I will dig in the minor pentatonic and pick out some notes. So that's one of the things I want you guys to understand. Whenever you start to solo, you can pick out certain notes from the minor pentatonic. It's about picking out different letters in order to forge words. That's what you should do. That's a way of doing it. That's a way of soloing, all right? So I'm gonna look at a few more and then I'm just gonna, I'm gonna sign out. Is that an acoustic? Yes, it's an acoustic, right? It's a Taylor acoustic. So it's the only guitar that I brought with me so I can practice and still do videos. When you choose a song, it says, how do you choose the phrasing? How do you make dynamics in the song? So how I choose the phrasing is I'm listening to the song. So go ahead and play one more time. So I'm choosing to like, I gotta find my spots. So I'm hearing the melody like, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So I'm learning like, okay, when I'm hearing this spot, like it's, right now it's quiet. Like it's open space, just space, right? And so when I'm playing, I'm thinking about the solo. Now I want to pick it up. All right, you stop it. So during the chorus, I want to pick up, like, but during the verse, I want to let it breathe. So, and I'm thinking about the melody. So like, dun-dun-dun-dun, it's a melodic line. Now the
chords, I want to start adding a little bit more flavor, like a little bit more stuff that I'm adding in the notes, because I got a little bit more space, because it's bouncing a little bit different, right? The verse, I have to let it subside, and I'm going to be a little bit more quieter, so I don't ramp up like the dynamics. Now when I'm playing like the chords, I want to definitely let it rip. So I know that that's building up, so that way I'm like, okay, cool, I can step on it a little bit. I can step on the gas in order to make sure I've got more vibes in that particular moment. As soon as the chorus hits, I want to go up. As soon as that, like the lyrics come in, I want to drop down so that way you can hear what the singer is saying. I don't want to like overshadow what they're saying. All right, cool. I appreciate y'all. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. I'm trying to get to 100,000 subscribers. So share this with all your friends and tell them, like, please just subscribe. If you're trying to learn guitar, if you just want to see a really cool dude that's really funny, that's really talented, subscribe to this channel. All right, and click the bell to be notified every time I'm doing some new heat, or I'm doing a new lesson, or I just want to make sure that you guys are connected and you don't miss out. Thanks so much for all the people that are congratulating me on the new house. I appreciate y'all. Thanks for all the little love and the suggestions about how to get the Wi-Fi to work right. I'm telling you, listen, we're going to get it right. We're going to get it right. So I appreciate y'all patience. Y'all have a good one. You have a great Saturday, and I will talk to you guys later.